Hello, welcome to Prove All Things. I want to thank everybody who's joining us today, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, or joining us on the CGI Digital Network app, whether that's on your phone, television, tablet, or wherever, or on our website. Or if you're listening to this as a podcast, we thank you for joining us today. I'm joined by co-host Mike James. How you doing, Mike?
Hey, Jeff, doing well. Good to see you again. We're going to do our monthly Bible study this coming Friday. If anyone's interested, please send me an email and I'll get you a link to that. I've started a new class in the Common Faith Academy. Well, it's actually a class I've run before, but I'm running it again.
Did you? Is it full, or is there still room for it?
I've got 18 people in the class, so it's if it's a little late to get in right now, but I'm going to run a class in
Okay.
the fall also on world religions.
hmm
This one is on the problem of evil, pain, and suffering in the world. Why would God allow that? So we're going to try to answer that question over an 8-week period.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. I guess over in my neck of the woods, I guess as far as working on things for the church, and I'll let you try it a little bit earlier this week is an AI chat bot to help with the
Yeah,
Bible, and
yeah, that was really cool.
it's kind of cool. You can ask it different questions. I'm having people use it from different angles because everybody ask. I noticed everybody who uses it ask it different questions and stuff based on what they're interested in and stuff like that. And there's some things it's going to probably give some politically correct type answers to so far. So I have to work on the fine tuning and probably make sure eventually have our doctrines and as part of its behavior. I would hope. But
Yeah,
even as it is, if you can use it as a tool and disregard some of that, some of its language, I think you can use it as a tool. It's just a matter of like trying to figure out, is there a need for this type of Bible help? Is it something people want? Will people get wrong answers? Will people get right answers? So just right now, just kind of like just exploring the idea of this Bible study application that can help people, with this chat AI that can answer your Bible questions. So
yeah. What would once you got that refined, would you put it on the regular website as like a tool in the list
yeah,
there? Or?
yeah, it's probably going. It could be either an app, a standalone app, or maybe I was thinking about adding it to our regular app, like just another little. If you go into our app, there's
Okay.
another little button you can go in and you can do some Bible chat with the AI, and it would have a standalone website. But right now, I'm just getting. I mean, I'm asking a few people here and there, giving them the website, letting them look at it, getting their thoughts about it, and seeing what kind of questions and answers they do. Again, because I know sure somebody's going to come up with something where it gives them a really bad answer, and they're going to show it to me, and I was like, you have a disclaimer that's on
Yeah,
there. So that's the thing with any kind of search type engine is what it is. It doesn't have intelligence. It's just a really good search engine that's able to put together things in a way that's easy to read for people.
yeah. I was impressed by the questions I asked, and the answers I got. They were pretty good, and in fact, I think that it isn't trying to. I asked about the Trinity,
hmm
and it actually said that we don't want to get into we don't want to support any particular view
Yeah.
on God, but it talked about God being one in a sense, and
I tell
it
you why. I
made
tell you why it said that because when I first was testing it, I said, "What is the nature of God?" And it said, "God is three in one." And it gave me the Trinity answer, and I was like, "All right."
oh,
And so in the parameters, I was like, "Don't talk about the Trinity." So it may skirt around it a little bit, but it's not going to talk about the Trinity. It's going to give you, well, people think this, people think that,
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah, so it wasn't a bad answer for
yeah,
our ideas on God.
yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody asked it about what it thinks about trans people in the Bible, and it gave it like,
Oh,
and I wouldn't answer it. It gave a pretty politically correct type of answer. So I don't know if I really like that answer that it gave. So I'll have to look at some fine tuning. But again, it's just a search engine that uses AI that goes through pretty much almost anything written about the Bible before 2021. Uh, all types of different sources, commentaries, articles. You can ask it. I type in CGI, and it will give you information about our church,
Wow.
our church history, and what we believe and stuff. Or I can type UCG. So and again, it's different than like a regular. If you go to regular AI, you type in CGI, it's like I don't know what you're talking about. This you type it in,
Yeah.
it knows you're talking about a church and what stuff like that. So it's definitely. It's very interesting. It's just I'm just gonna get some people's opinions on how this can be used, and if it's something that can be beneficial to people, and so we'll see.
Okay, yeah, it sounds interesting. Go for it. Yeah.
All right. So again, thank for everybody out there who's watching with us today. We definitely look forward to your comments. Whether you're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, bring your comments today. We have a repeat guest. Well, one of our favorite repeat guests. We have Jason Pack who's joining us live from the local House of Health.
Yeah. Oh man, thanks.
Hey, Jason, how you been? How's it going since we last talked to you?
Doing wonderful. I'm here at the back of the store right now, hoping everybody gets all their questions answered. I'm hearing a little bit of repeat. The sound good on my end? Can y'all hear me all right? Okay.
Yeah. I think as long as we have all headsets on, it probably will fix itself.
Oh, good. Good. But doing well. Busy life. Living 4 kids, and living and adjusting, as I say, and trying to keep up and help as many people as I can. But yeah, I'm here at House of Health, where I help people with vitamins and herbs and talk to people about health challenges and how to navigate being healthy in this world, where we unfortunately have sickness and disease. And excited to be back here talking about some fun topics today.
Yeah, it's good to have you back. I know a lot of people in the Church of God, because we believe in, I guess, a faith-based approach. I am hearing myself echo somewhere. So somewhere, maybe somebody's coming through their speakers and not through their headphones. The comment. So check your headphones, make sure they're plugged in, and that might fix things for that echo. Now I think it's gone. All right, because it was like I could hear myself echoing. I was like, that's very very odd. I'm sure people watching wouldn't appreciate it either. But
you sound okay right now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, great. So as I was saying, many people in Church of God, because we believe in the Bible, we want to look for the what is the biblical way? What is the natural way to be healthy, and what can we do? And that's really, I guess, a lot of mindset of people in church. And I understand that mindset because I guess I have it myself to a certain degree about what can I eat, what can I do to make sure that I can be in best of health, because I guess we're the temple of the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess part of being a Christian is taking care of this body that God has given us.
Yeah, I mean, amazingly, God can heal us as is if He wants to. And we have all these stories from Jesus. I mean, healing people for pretty much everything. But and so I believe God wants as well. Then also you combine that with the idea that we're told to make disciples. We're told to preach the gospel. It's hard to do that when you're sick and diseased. Mm-hmm. To me personally, I believe that God wants us well. Yes, He can heal us, but also He has given us tools, resources, knowledge, wisdom to be able to know how to take care of our bodies.
Yeah, I guess being proactive about things rather than reactive is probably the godly way about stuff, to be proactive about, especially our health and things and again, having a family and I want to be healthy for the family, because you feel like I got to be healthy for the church. These things go through our minds, that we want to live our best lives.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
I'm going through a treatment plan right now at chiropractor. Because I want to be able to play basketball with my kids when they grow up, and I don't want to be in pain. Changing my diet to reduce inflammation, so I can be there and play with them.
Yeah, I was with my kids at Stone Mountain this past weekend, and they had this giant 4-story play area with these nets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody thought it was a bright idea to make it big enough for adults to go in there. So the little 5-year-old's like, "Dad, come up here with me." I'm like, I don't know if I want to climb these nets. It's like, I'll climb the nets and go all this stuff with them. But boy, the next day, had some has some pain, some soreness from doing that. Using muscles that you don't normally use.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. So what are we going to talk about today, Jason?
All right. Well, I want to start with let's start with prostate health. So a couple of facts. When you look up prostate cancer, you look up prostate. Those that don't know, all men, you have a prostate. It's a little organ that surrounds your urethra, responsible for mainly in sexual health, responsible for hormone health. Two main functions, many other things. But as you age, and even when you're younger, you can have prostate issues. And just when you look up some facts, so by age 60, that's half of all men will have an enlarged prostate at one point or another. May get better, may get worse. This is from Harvard.
Wow, half.
Yeah, this is from.
Wow.
Now, and this is I just searched for percentage of men with prostate issues. According to Harvard University, they've obviously done a study. So by age 60, half of all men have enlarged prostate. By age 85. Oh, go ahead.
Now, why do we get an enlarged prostate? Is there something naturally that's occurring that leads to half of men having it by 60? Mm-hmm. Anything on that?
My view is a big part of his age. As you get older, our bodies start to deteriorate. As we know, you get wrinkles and you slow down, you get inflammation. So that's a big factor. But not me personally, as I'll go over, I think a lot of it also is our environment, is what we eat, it's what we do. We talked about stress before. I think that's a factor as well. And I'll get into some of those topics. But going on, by age 85, that percentage reached 90%. So by 85, 90%, they say, have some type of enlarged prostate.
By what age?
By age 85.
85.
Yeah. And then prostate cancer, which is, of course, the worst case. Just to give you some stats, this is from cancer.gov. 2020, there were an estimated 3,343,976 men living with prostate cancer.
Wow.
3.3 million people living with prostate cancer.
So that's about maybe 2% of the men in the United States, or is that like worldwide?
It says I think this is United States.
Okay.
Cancer.gov. Does it say that? It is not saying specifically.
I'd probably assume it's probably United States.
Yeah, this is U.S. Mm-hmm.
So that's like one out of 50 men.
Yeah. Well, they list some things on there. Let's see. So, like so far this year, 288,000 new cases of prostate cancer.
Wow.
I hear it's higher in places like the United States. I hear like places like China, Asia, the rate is much lower with men. And again, that might be due to diet from what I've read, but please continue.
Okay. So you can see it's a huge issue for men. And not just a huge issue as far as it's common, it also can be a huge issue as far as quality of life. Common symptoms are going to be the urge to go to urinate, the frequency of urinating, waking up at night to go to the bathroom. These are common signs you'll see. You can get pain in the abdomen, sometimes debilitating pain. You can get loss of libido, to where sexual health is definitely hampered. So these are common things that are not things you want to deal with as a man. And what I find here at the store is that many people, they'll come and say, I'm not sleeping at night, or I'm going to the bathroom a lot. And so one of the things I always ask them, okay, when you wake up at night, are you waking up to go to the bathroom? If they're waking up more than a couple of times, it's a pretty good sign to me. Okay, there's some type of enlarged prostate. And of course, then I go by how old they are. So let's a couple of things. Let's just get into to what I think causes it, and we'll talk about some stuff that I think will help.
Okay.
So what I see is common thing is going to be what's called DHT, dihydrotestosterone. What happens? I'm hearing some music.
I think it's my phone.
Okay. But we all men and women, we have what's called DHT. It's a natural process. The testosterone dies off is the easiest way to look at it, and it converts into DHT. Well, DHT can be too much sometimes. It can cause male pattern baldness, where it can cause damage to the hair follicles and you lose hair for men and women. And so how do you stop excess DHT? Well, there are natural DHT blockers. And of course, there's a whole prescription side of this I won't get into because that's not what I deal with. But you can take things like saw palmetto berry, nettle root. You probably heard of some of these if you've researched anything on prostate health.
Yeah, I think I've seen commercials where they mention these like there's like buzzwords and stuff, you know.
So
yeah.
So that's how they work. So saw palmetto berry and nettle root, they both bind to the DHT and reduce the excess DHT in the body. So women women can have male pattern baldness, as they call it, where they lose hair, the thinning of the hair. They can take a saw palmetto berry capsule, and within a couple of months, they can start to see some of the hair growing back, and get thickening again. And then, of course, you start taking nettle root, you bind to that DHT, you shrink the prostate, and you have reduced symptoms.
Okay.
And there's many things, many other ones you can take to kind of go along with that. Another herb called pygeum is also in that category.
Okay.
So DHT, anything, look up natural remedies or natural herbs to help bind to DHT.
Okay.
And then the other area is hormonally. So there's a huge problem here. I was going to look it up. It's called estrogen dominance. Have you all heard of estrogen dominance?
Yeah, I've heard of estrogen being more dominant, but not specifically that term.
Yeah. Okay. So estrogen dominance is actually becoming more and more, at least I believe it is, and what I see from customers here at the store is becoming more and more an issue. And what it is where there's too much estrogen in the body, from diet, from stress, from environmental issues. Even like excess heavy metals and things can cause hormone imbalances. And so women and men can have estrogen dominance. And so what can happen is excess estrogen then causes the prostate to enlarge. And so, how can we reduce that? Well, you can take a supplement called DIM, D-I-M, like dim the lights, which is from broccoli and cauliflower. That helps to bind to the excess estrogen and pull it out of the body. You can eat broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. That will also be great. You can detox the liver. The liver helps to process estrogen in the body. So if you detox the liver, so anything you can do to reduce estrogen, changing the diet is one of the best things, in my opinion, for reducing estrogen. But if you reduce estrogen, well, then therefore you're reducing excess estrogen that's causing a large prostate. And again, symptoms can be reduced. So those are the two main things that I see. Then diet-wise is also really important. A lot of people are not eating a balanced diet, eating enough nutrients, which we talked about before.
Right.
So because of that, they're not getting what the body needs. So, for instance, zinc. Zinc is really important for prostate health. Very important for toning of the prostate. Keeping it well nourished. Boron is another mineral you could look at that's good for it. So sometimes just supplementing with those things can also help. Can
you eat those in like fruits and vegetables? Can you get those?
You can. Yeah. Pumpkin seeds are the highest source of zinc. Nuts, seeds, you're going to have some boron. I think eggs have some zinc as well as boron possibly.
Okay.
A lot of things we get, just do a quick search on high foods or high boron foods.
Okay. I myself eat a handful of nuts like every day. This is like part of my
good. Not peanuts, right?
No, not peanuts.
All right.
Like tree nuts.
All right, good.
What is there a problem if you eat a handful of peanuts every day? Because I don't eat those, but
Well, peanuts are not really nuts; they're legumes,
gotcha.
and so. But yeah, peanuts are actually they have a lot of they're high in a mold, and it's the evidence I'm seeing is basically stay away from peanuts. They're not really not much nourishment to begin with, and then it seems like they could hurt you worse than help you.
Okay.
So now they're yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question here, because since we last been on, I experienced gout, which is which is a disease that's based on stuff that you eat, and it's a type of inflammation and stuff, and it's like, well, for me, it's like, well, I got to get rid of this. I'm gonna get rid of it naturally, so I figured out what things to eat, what not to eat. But the key thing that I found out that, and it just helped me, and probably would help a lot, is that in the United States, most people have a lot of health problems. I think also with prostate, it's because we eat way too much sodium, way too much salt in food. That, the recommended sodium might be like 1,500 milligrams to 2,300 milligrams a day, and we're eating, like, you go to a restaurant, one meal maybe 10,000 and stuff. And so, I mean, is there any, what is your thoughts on that as far as prostate health, as far as like reducing sodium and things like that?
Well, I mean, sodium in general. What does salt do? What do we traditionally use salt to do?
Preserve.
Dry, specifically to dry things, to preserve it. Right. And so, if you're putting excess salt in the body, what's it doing? Well, it's absorbing moisture. And so if you're not hydrating yourself well, why it's part of the reason why salt causes high blood pressure is because you need hydration for your blood vessels and your arteries to relax and to be squishy and flexible. Well, if you're eating too much salt, you're not drinking enough water. Boom, you got hard, crusty blood vessels. And so our bodies is mostly water, and so if you're consuming too much salt, well, it's going to make things not work well.
Yeah. Now, I was wondering because, like, you mentioned, like, the United States, we have these problems, and we don't have these problems in these other countries. And in the United States, we eat way too much sugar. We eat way too much salt. And so that's just part of our diet. It's like the whole. You go in the grocery store and all these bags and everything's just full of all that stuff.
I would blame more sugar than I would salt. Okay. I don't know of a direct connection with salt and prostate issues.
Okay, gotcha.
I could see one, but I would more blame sugar. I would blame sugar. I would blame plastics. I would blame chemicals and fragrances. All of these are estrogen enhancing, estrogen mimicking. And so why we have so much estrogen dominance? Because we're eating too much sugar. We're working, too many hours a day. Which I get it. I work a lot too. Why me personally, I do struggle with estrogen dominance. And so I take DIM every day to reduce my estrogen. Now I do also watch my sugar intake. I make sure I drink a lot of water. I make sure my liver is functioning properly to be able to handle that estrogen. But we eat all this processed meat, beef, chicken, beef especially. They're pumping it with hormones to make it grow bigger and faster. And so then we're eating that, and that's also converting into estrogen. We're eating high inflammation diets, which are going to cause more inflammation all over the body. One of being the prostate. So I think all of these are going to be factors of why Americans have so much more prostate issues than all over the world. So
you say, and the prostate issue is a type of inflammation.
Well, yes, I believe it is. I mean, it's a inflammatory result of whether poor eating, environmental issues, or lack of nutrition. So.
Okay, hey Jason, we got a few comments here. Someone is commenting that peanuts are a good source of protein. So I have heard that. So we won't get into that. But what about your take on super greens powder, if you've ever heard of that? Or I hear a lot of this now, super beet stuff. You know, whether
Mhm.
it's chewable, the Super Beets, or the powder.
I see
for Super
I see
Beets.
ads for Super Beets all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And any info? You have any info in your store with Super Greens
Oh.
powder or
Mhm.
Super Beets powder?
Absolutely. So yeah, we sell Super Greens, we sell Super Fruits. You know, yeah, we have all that kind of stuff here at the store because it is hot. It's real popular right now. It's a pretty trendy thing. So, be honest with you, I'm going to tell you, eat the greens, eat the fruit. It's so much better the way it's supposed to be. Now, if you have a hard time, let's say you don't have a lot of teeth, you know, many different reasons. You know, if that's the way you're going to get your greens, okay, it's better than not doing any.
Right.
But no, you know, the real food is always going to be best. You know, it's you can't get around it. As much as they want to say high antioxidant, high fruit content. Yes, it might be concentrated than what you'd get, but you're going to get so much more nutrition from the fresh fruit and vegetables. And then the Super Beets powder, that works great. I mean, beet powder is just dried beets. If that's easier and you can mix it in a smoothie where you don't taste it because you don't like beets, go for it. But I would suggest also eat beets too.
Yeah. Yes, another one about chewable turmeric tablets, better than capsules.
Chewable, not necessarily. Actually, a lot of the chewable, a lot of the gummies, they're a lot less potency. You have to do 3 or 4 to get the same potency of 1 or 2 capsules. But yeah, I think we talked about this before with turmeric. Make sure that you're getting the curcumin. So don't just look at the turmeric extract or the turmeric. Yeah. Make sure you get the curcumin. That's what you want, the highest potency.
And there's something with black pepper that kind of helps it too. Is that
yeah, that would help.
That's what I take. I take that, and I think about a chewable turmeric because sometimes I bit into the turmeric by accident, and that stuff is it's some hot stuff. So that would be a very hot gummy or whatever, or chewable. I would think.
They make them taste. They make them taste pretty good, but remember, you know, you're not getting very much in there, so that's why they taste. If it tastes good, okay, then it's a very good chance you're not getting anything. So yeah, we talked about, you know, prostate cancer, prostate issues being an issue. We talked about what can cause prostate issues. So I want to talk a little bit about you know, how do you check your prostate? How do you find out how things are doing? Yeah, usually if you go see a doctor for an annual physical, they're going to check your PSA levels. That's the most common way to check the health of the prostate. It's not the most accurate, I will be honest with you. From my research, there are other tests, other things you can look at. So don't always just assume high PSA levels can indicate prostate issues.
But I guess if you have a high PSA, then you start looking for other things. Is that what it is?
Yes. You know, okay, yeah, you know, be on the lookout. You know, are we waking up to go to the bathroom at night? Are we having pain? Are we having, you know, frequent urination? Okay, maybe it is the prostate. But high PSA levels can simply occur from being intimate with your wife. You know, if you have that the day before you go get checked, well, your PSA levels are going to be elevated. You know, also something I found out, which is really important, I wanted to share this today, was when you go get checked for your PSA, often the doctor will do a physical check where they'll insert their finger and check the prostate for enlargement. Well, make sure that you get your PSA level checked before they do that, because actually having that done and then having your PSA levels, that can elevate your PSA levels too.
Okay.
Now, you'd think doctors would know that, but unfortunately, time after time, I've had customers come in and say, "Oh yeah, you know, I had that done, then had them checked, and my levels were elevated." And they go back and they have them checked, and it's not. You know, so you know, don't be alarmed necessarily that it's an issue, but it's good idea, you know, to be proactive even if you don't have symptoms. Hey, you know, I go once a year to check my PSA levels to see, okay, where am I? Is there anything I need to be alarmed with? But I also listen to my body. You know, am I waking up at night? Okay, maybe there's something going on. You know, yeah, I drink a lot of liquid before I go to bed, but maybe might be something else I can address. So I also proactively will take things for my prostate. I mean, I get plenty of zinc in my diet. I do take some in a multivitamin here and there. But I do take like nettle root. Nettle root really works well for me to bind to that DHT because my testosterone levels are on the higher range. And so it's likely that I have higher DHT than and my body's could have a hard time processing that.
So I know you've talked about antioxidants before, and I've got this book on prostate health, and it mentions some of the foods that are high in antioxidants when it comes to fruits and veggies. And, it mentions strawberries, plums, oranges, grapes. And then on the vegetable side, it mentions garlic, kale, spinach, Brussels sprouts, broccoli. So you would suggest, of course, we want to eat as much of those fruits and vegetables as we can because antioxidants are going to help with a lot of things in the body, not only prostate, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, yeah, eat all those things because we kind of mentioned that prostate issues also come with age. We're talking 60-year-old men. That's past half of what our life expectancy usually is as men. And so, yeah, age is a factor, absolutely. And so you eat all those fresh fruits and vegetables. Well, yeah, you're going to reduce the damage to your body from living life. So yeah, but herbs are great because they come in addition to what you eat, and they help the body in a stronger way. They're foods that heal, as I call them. So yeah, get the diet right, absolutely, with everything and anything. But if that's not enough, well, you have other things you can do to speed up the process. Because I mean, look at the percentages. 3.3 million people in the U.S. in 2020 getting prostate cancer. So think about if they could figure out and isolate and kind of diagnose themselves in a way and say, hey, why do I have enlarged prostate, or why am I having the issues? Oh, well, maybe it's because I have too much estrogen, or maybe because I'm, DHT could be my problem. And they start taking some of these things, they reduce the symptoms, and they might not ever have prostate cancer. So that's my point today is let's get on this. Let's figure this out so we don't have to suffer with enlarged prostate and or lead which could lead to prostate cancer.
Okay.
Yeah. Now you also mentioned you want. I know we only got about an hour here, so you mentioned hormones also that you wanted to talk about them today. Is there a connection to hormones and the prostate, and could you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, big time. Well, I mentioned the DHT, which is a processing of the testosterone, which can cause enlarged prostate. I mentioned estrogen, which can be in excess or dominant, which can cause enlarged prostate. So let's go into hormones now. So there are 4 main sex hormones that we all have, men and women: estrogen, testosterone, and then 2 you probably haven't heard. You've heard of the other 2? Trivia.
I don't know.
Yeah, the other 2. What are they?
DHEA.
Nope.
And progesterone.
I've heard of that. I just don't know what it is. Yeah.
The last one sounds familiar.
Yeah. So women typically have more things going on with the progesterone and DHEA, but men can too. So like women, if you take birth control pills, that can affect your progesterone levels and your estrogen levels. So just a side note, if you're taking birth control pills and things like that, make sure that you check your hormones because you could have imbalances. I've seen over and over and over customers coming in here, women that have cycle issues, come to find out they were on birth control and it messed their hormones up. So hormones, I'm going to encourage everyone today listening and listening the next few days, find out where your hormones are. It's not hard. Yes, the doctor will check in your physical usually, but they don't always check all of them. They'll check your testosterone, and that's usually it for men. They don't check your estrogen. Sometimes you go in, they're like, "Why do you want to check your estrogen? You're a man." Well, I want to know. Well, when I found out I had high estrogen, I was like, "Whoa, man, this is maybe the reason why I had cancer." And if I could have avoided that and known that, I didn't go in and get checked though, so it was a lot on me. But find out where those hormones are. So again, testosterone, estrogen, DHEA, and progesterone. It's real easy. I'm going to talk a little bit about blood tests too. You can also go find this out for yourself. You don't have to go get a doctor physical. Anytime you want to find out where these hormones are, you can go. And I'd like to share a website if I could, people to go to. So once you find out those levels, well, if you're out of range, which is really easy to tell, then you can know right away, hey, this could be my issue. So if you're having prostate symptoms, you go find out where your estrogen levels are. Mm-hmm. Boom, they're excess. Right away you have evidence of what could be causing those symptoms. You address the estrogen, and then of course problems get better. Well, boom, you addressed it. You avoided prostate issues. You avoided cancer. And so yeah, I mean, always important. And then of course, any questions? I'm going to go in a couple of things. But.
Yeah, I got a question. Again, I'm looking at this book. Since my dad had prostate cancer, mm-hmm. I have this book called The Prostate Cancer Protection Plan. It mentions DHEA here, mm-hmm. and I got a question for you because it's saying that that there are many supplements that men use, like as they get older, for muscle mass enhancement and things mm-hmm. of that nature, that has DHEA in it. And from what I'm reading here, it sounds like they're suggesting to be careful about adding more DHEA to your body because that could throw you out of whack also. Yeah. So I know that it's very popular. There's lots of commercials on TV today about get that energy back, you older men. I see Frank Thomas, the former baseball player, and Doug Flutie. They have these commercials on there about something to take that's going to give you more energy, bring back the testosterone, make you more virile or whatever. Are there some dangers in getting too much of that as we get older also?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. This is what I do. I sell supplements and vitamins and I educate people. And so, yeah, I'm well aware of the DHEA. We sell it in a supplement form. You can take it. And there is risks, and it's not something that I usually sell. Really, the only people I really ever recommend DHEA to is really women, actually. Some women come in, they have low testosterone. Well, they supplement with DHEA, and DHEA it can also be called a precursor to testosterone. So you can supplement with DHEA, and it can enhance testosterone production. So for women that have low testosterone, well, yeah, they can take DHEA, and sometimes it can increase their testosterone to a healthier level. Now, the problem with men taking it, though, is, especially when you're coming out, oh, yeah, I want all the testosterone. I want all of it. Well, you got to be careful. There's a reason why bodybuilders get flabby after they stop working out from all the testosterone burst, because too much testosterone in the body unnaturally, yes, men can have high testosterone levels naturally. That's fine. But too much excess boosting of testosterone can cause excess estrogen.
Interesting.
There's a process called aromatization where that excess testosterone can aromatase into estrogen.
Huh. That supplement you're talking about, the
DHEA.
What is that? How is that made? What is that?
To be honest with you, I don't exactly know. Another reason why I'm not too. Because
it's like somebody's isolating a chemical and it's like a chemical compound or something.
I'll have to study that one. To be honest with you, right. I don't know off the top of my head. But yeah, that's another reason why I'm not a big pusher of that, and I'm hesitant with that because if you think about it, it's a hormone. It's a direct hormone.
It says here, Jason, that it's made in our adrenal glands. So again, it's something that's naturally made within. And I knew a guy who had adrenal gland problems, and again, that can be an issue. When those things are out of whack. Yeah.
Okay. Great comment there. Thank you, Gary.
Yeah. Gary's fitting right in with what you're saying there. You want to read that? Yeah.
My 43-year-old daughter was feeling fatigue. Her estrogen, thyroid hormone levels were good, blood work fine. Finally, they checked her testosterone levels, which were almost nil. In other words, she didn't have any testosterone, and they gave her supplements, and it worked. So yeah, here's a prime example where you give DHEA to supply what the body needs until you can figure out, okay, why is she having low testosterone? So that's a prime example. Now, should you continue it? Well, that's going to be a question you ask with your doctor, and you figure that out. But no, yeah. And back to the prostate. So the prostate, because it's enlarged, and also your prostate helps make and produce hormones. So if you're having prostate issues, that's also going to affect your hormone levels. Mm-hmm. And so I mentioned one of the side effects of enlarged prostate is low libido. So here you are, you want to be a bodybuilder, you want to take testosterone products. Well, you might be causing damage to your prostate, which is then in return causing low testosterone levels and low libido. So yeah, even more reason why, Mike, I would tell you, find out where your hormones are before you take a testosterone booster, before you take DHEA. Taking DIM, like I mentioned earlier, to reduce estrogen, that's not a bad thing for men, but still find out where those hormone levels are. Then you can more proactively know what's going on in the body and address it. And that's kind of why I wanted to talk about blood tests today too. Any questions? I was going to go into.
Yeah, you said there's a website that does blood tests. Is what you're going to?
Yeah. I can pull it up. You want to pull? When you want to pull it up, or?
Tell me what it is, and I'll pull it up and put it on screen.
So it's www.walkinlab.com.
Okay, let me see if I can get that screen up here.
Mm-hmm.
That's not it. Let's see, Chrome tab. All right. So it's 10% off if I.
All right, there you go. Oh, cool. Okay, so yeah, this is what I actually use myself, and I'm not, just so you know, I'm not getting endorsed by them, but this is the best source I've found for getting blood tests on my own. So you can get any kind of blood test you want, and it's kind of neat. The Bible talks about the life of the flesh is in the blood. Mm-hmm. So it's quite amazing that you can basically find anything you want to know about your body in your blood.
You know what? I just recently had my blood tested. I guess I have it every year tested, and when I look at all these different things, it's just amazing what you can find out in the blood.
Yeah. So how does this work, Jason? What do you?
So you go up to the top. You go up to the top there, top of the page.
Yeah.
And we'll just do an example here. You see, it says search tests.
Yep.
And just type in hormone panel.
Panel.
Mm-hmm. And you scroll down and see they have all these different tests you can take. Right here so you got women, hormone panel for women. Okay. You have a hormone panel for men. So we're men here, so you can click on it and see it gives you. Scroll up a little bit more. It says hormone number 1 baseline blood test panel men. You see that? Oh, yeah. You went up too far.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Right. Yep. And you see you have an option. You can go to LabCorp, Quest Labs. This is where the same labs the doctors use. And you can buy your blood test right here. You can, I can't really see it, which one's cheaper.
Do you prick your finger and put it on something and mail it to them, or how do they do that?
No, so you buy this test here, and then you'd once you buy it, they'll give you the option to set up a day or time, and then you go to either, depending on who you choose, you have a time. You go down there, they draw your blood, and then in a couple of days they email your blood results.
So it says they write. So there's doctors that work for this place, and they'll write you like orders to go get tests. There is basically what this is.
Yeah, this is like a doctor's note. Yeah, so when you buy it on this website, you get a receipt, you take it in, and it's like a doctor's note. Because if you and I just went down to these places and said, "Hey, I want to check my hormones," they say, "Oh, you can't do this without a doctor's note."
Yeah,
So, but if you use this website, you can get anything done you want. So, yeah, every year I get a whole complete blood check. I get my cholesterol checked, my liver checked. My hormones checked, my PSA for prostate, and every year I'll change and do different things. I'll try new things that I've never done before, just to kind of to do that, because it's if there's an issue, I can solve it. I can be proactive and I can improve the health of my body. And
now your regular doctor, let's say you go to a doctor once a year and you get your regular blood test. I know there's a lot of things on there that he shows me, and I have on the web. I go in there and I can look at it. So this the hormone thing, I'm not sure that's something. Is that something that they don't usually get into when they're testing you? I know the cholesterol. I know the sugar, I can think of a lot of things. I can recall them showing me. I know they do the PSA, things like that. Is hormone something that isn't often done in a regular blood work thing?
From what I see and from the customers I help, yes. It seems to be something, like even myself, when I had cancer, and I found out my estrogen was elevated, I came back for a follow-up. And I said, I want to check out where my estrogen was. And the doctor said, well, why? And I said, well, I noticed I had high estrogen. And he said, well, that doesn't have anything to do with it. And I'm like, well, for me and what I want to know about my body, yeah, I think it does. And so he said, okay, well, I'll do that. And so, I'm seeing lots of people where it's, the doctors don't proactively do that.
Yeah.
Because,
again, we got to remember, doctors are humans. They don't know everything.
They don't know everything,
And again, and I think a lot of times doctors don't do a lot of tests, probably because of your insurance and stuff. Yeah. Because like I say, if you say, I got a chest pain, they might just like give you something for it rather than go do an MRI, because the MRI is like $3,000. They'll probably try to treat it first before they're like, all right, now we got to do this and get and then the insurance has to sign off on it.
Not all insurance companies will cover. But if you have insurance, find out too. These will fall under what's called diagnostics, and if they cover diagnostics, then you can get all this covered with insurance. You don't have to pay anything. So that's something else that's real important. And when you go in to get a physical, well, if you're doing some research and you're studying things, have that doctor check. Say, hey, doc, if you're going to do these blood tests, go ahead and do a full hormone panel. Go ahead and check these things, because, like I said, doctors, they're not going to just always all the time say, oh, okay, let's check everything. You have to also be proactive and stand up for yourself.
But if you ask for it, I guess they'll do that.
Yeah, usually.
I had to get a physical for fostering the kids, and for that they had a lot of additional tests and things we had to do than just a regular physical. Like they want to know all these other additional blood tests and different things. So it was, and I think I had to do a TB test, which was interesting as well.
Tuberculosis.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason, there's a comment from DB Whitlow again on Prevagen. I know this is a little off topic maybe, but any thoughts on Prevagen? I see a lot of commercials about that these days.
I mean, we don't sell it.
Okay.
I'm well aware of that, though. It's been a popular brain product for a long time. My concerns with it is, originally when it first came out, they said it was extracted from jellyfish. It was a jellyfish extract, which is interesting. A lot of natural things can come from. Yeah,
that's not a clean animal, though.
True. Yeah. And then it wasn't that long, and this is about the time when we thought about selling it, because we had a lot of customers coming in and saying, "Hey, Prevagen, can you get this product?" And we were like, "Well, I don't know. We don't know how to feel about it." We were just kind of saying, "Let's wait on it." Well, soon after, right about the time we decided to bring it, we had a pretty good deal, and they're going to give us a discount to bring it in. Well, we started to notice on the box it said "formerly found in jellyfish." So
say that again.
They changed it from source from jellyfish, and they changed it to formerly found in jellyfish. So no longer is it from jellyfish; it's from something else, but they're not telling you what it's from.
Okay, interesting.
And then unfortunately, with brands that are sold at Walmart, that are sold at even GNC sometimes, Target, we are a little leery of, because when you're selling to the big box stores, the sourcing isn't always necessarily the best. And so with that, also,
you know what? Speaking of that, I've seen like studies. I think where journalists have done like studies on like these supplements that they sell like in Walmart or Walgreens, and they've actually tested them, and they can't find what they're supposed to be in the supplement.
I know it's really sad. I mean, Consumer Reports, which does a lot of these vitamin testing, they'll say, oh, turmeric supplements don't have what they say they have in there. Well, you look at the fine lines and you look at the research on it. It's going to be CVS. It's going to be, I guess I need to be careful what I say. But you find these big box stores, they don't have what they say they put them in there. And so for us as a small family-owned business, we want to sell stuff that we know where it's coming from. We know it is what it says it is. It's going to be effective because we want customers to get results and come back. That's our goal. We're not trying to sell you a bunch of stuff. We want to sell you something that works. And if it works and you like it, you'll come back. That's the idea. So Prevagen it didn't pass the smell test for us. I mean, yes, I have many customers that say it helped them. I don't think it's a scam per se, but I don't think it's on the up and up.
Yeah. I being in the church, I would be wary of anything that comes from an unclean animal. Or supplement. Even if they say it works, I'm like, well, I don't care. God says not to eat that or use that. So if I'm consuming, I feel like I'm eating it, I guess.
Yeah. No, something to think about. Yeah, absolutely. Because then it definitely undermines your belief in that too.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, again, check out your hormones, find out where those levels are. If you have issues with prostate, go get it checked out. Don't wait. Don't say, oh, it's not, and sometimes people will say, oh, it's not an issue and I don't want to fix until it's broken. Well, sometimes it might be too late. Sometimes it might be too difficult to reverse what's already happened if you don't go get it checked out. And that's my goal today. And hopefully I can empower people to also take control of their health through blood tests too. So
was there was one other topic we wanted to hopefully get into today besides the hormones and the prostate. What was the third thing?
That's the ones I got: the hormones, prostate, blood tests.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Blood test. So I guess we got about 7 minutes left. What would you like us to remember about what you've already addressed? Like, what do we need to remember from today?
Well, I would say that God made our bodies amazing. He gave us the ability to heal ourselves, just on our own blood and circulation and repair system, immune system to fight as well. And so even though you might get a diagnosis of enlarged prostate, or you might get a diagnosis of prostate cancer, your body is amazing and it can heal itself. And so, don't get stressed. Don't be afraid. Pray to God and ask for healing, of course. But meanwhile, educate yourself and know that you can check things and you can look up things about your body to help yourself to be more healthy.
All right. Wonderful.
So, I got a question about blueberries?
Yeah. I guess because I've been eating a lot of blueberries lately because I ate some, and then I was looking it up while I was eating the blueberries, and it's pretty good. I said, are blueberries healthy? And then I started reading about all the good things that blueberries do. From different studies and stuff like that, how if you eat a couple blueberries a day, like there was a group of people who ate a couple of blueberries and they had like less heart disease, less problems. There was just all kinds of these and that's all that's what I put my faith in. I guess not really faith in. I just like this. A study says this. There must be something to it. To blueberries. What do you think about blueberries?
Great. The wonderful food. And we were talking a little bit earlier about blueberries, but yeah, very high antioxidant.
Yeah.
And of course, any food antioxidant, greens and fruit and berries
Yeah.
and dark fruits, they're going to repair damage in the body.
Hmm.
And so, yeah, you want to reduce cancer, which is damage to the cells in the body. Well, yeah, it's eat blueberries. Eat your
Yeah.
greens, eat blackberries, eat
Yeah.
some strawberries. But I would. Oh, go ahead.
I was saying, there's berries, and there's vegetables, and there's fruits, and for some reason I was watching this documentary the other day, and they showed this kind of a fruit I never heard of before, called a belly button fruit, which it was only in the documentary I looked for it, I couldn't really find it, and I started finding out there's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different fruits that we don't even like to eat or know about. And then a lot of these fruits, they're really good for you in different ways, and they help the body and different. But they're like in Africa or Brazil or different places. There's so much that we don't eat, that we don't use, that's on this planet as far as for our health that's out there.
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, we sell a lot of these things, and a lot of people, they look up something online and say, oh, acai, cures this, or goji berry cures this. These are things a lot of us probably don't even know about. Acai, goji, bitter melon, nopal cactus. But my suggestion would be find things that are local. So blueberries are local. Find somebody in the community that grows blueberries. We have several here, thankfully, in my area, where we can buy to pick. We pick our own blueberries. You're getting them fresh off the bush. So they're going to have the highest amount of antioxidants in them. Whereas if you buy things from across the country, even blueberries, right? Yeah. Well, they have to pick them at a certain time to make sure that when they get to the other side of the states, they're ripe.
Yeah. And they're not ripe, but they're ripe with less nutrients because they weren't on the vine the whole time. Is what you're saying.
Yeah. Gotcha. And so then, if that's the case with just blueberries, what's the case with things coming from Africa, and all these other sources, unless they're flying it overnight.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why with a lot of these green powders, look, it's better than nothing. But eat the fresh produce. Eat the fresh as close as you can. If you get it local, even better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and again, being a believer in God and the Bible and the way He's made the world, I don't think He made it so that we have to go get fruits from all over the world to live.
No.
He gave us everything we need, probably in our own backyard or in our own area, and we just need to use what we're given. And again, I'm great in China. In China, they have this wonderful fruit that helps with this or whatever, but we have these fruits and stuff like
Absolutely.
that. So.
Yeah, we all even with herbs, anywhere you go in the world, you're going to have native herbs that grow wild around you. And so you can go out in your backyard or go in the woods, and if you know what to look for, you can pick out herbs that are going to treat anything that you need them to treat. No matter where you go in the world, in some cases you have things like dandelion. Well, dandelions grow all over the world, so you can get those anywhere, but many other herbs, they have different names. And so they're growing in China, they're growing here, just like they have different names. And so also get aware of that, make yourself aware of what those are too. That's something I want to do more and more, is understand how to wild harvest from the forest, these good herbs.
Yeah, and I've always wanted to, because I'm not much of a prepper or whatever. I know, but at some point there could be some kind of plague or turmoil or nuclear war or something. But I've always wondered what is there in the forest that I could eat and live on if I had to if I just had to live on what's in the forest. I don't know that. I'd like to know that. I'd like to know there's stuff out there, roots and berries and things that are edible and plants that are good and stuff that. Some stuff might make you sick if you eat it. So I don't know that, but I'm sure the information's out there.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, though, I mean, these are all cool things, and I myself would like to know more. But keep it simple. Eat your spinach, eat your blueberries, eat stuff that's easy to find, that's good, that's fresh. That's what's really important. I mean, be careful getting pulled aside to the next trendy fruit or next trendy thing. Searching for the fountain of youth, because it really comes in simple things. So,
got it. Very good, very good. So we want to have you back, and we'll let you think a little bit about what you're going to talk to us about next time. But I know this could be endless conversation on all
Mhm.
these different things. So
Yeah.
we're looking forward to it. Thanks so much for this information today. Very important. And if people want to get a hold of you,
let me put that up there. His website again. It is Local House of Health, right?
Yeah, localhouseofhealth.com.
Okay.
Yeah, or if you're on Facebook, you can find us at Local House of Health as well, Winston.
Just do a search on Facebook.
Yeah, well, you can search for House of Health Winston. That'd be the easiest way. And I share stuff on Facebook sometimes, health stuff and business stuff. But if you got a question or a concern, or send me a message. I answer all those messages, so it'll go right to me.
Yeah,
but
again, very, very interesting conversation, and I just let people know that this conversation we're having is not a can replace medical advice for those, because we're not saying that at all.
No.
We're just saying we're having a conversation about these things, and these things are interesting to look into.
Yeah. Oh no, you got a problem? Go to your doctor. They study the body, and so they're going to know about it. But at the same time, it's important to know. But thank you guys. I appreciate the opportunity. And I look forward to next time.
All right.
Okay. Thanks.
Appreciate
Jason.
it.
Yeah.
All right. See you next time. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, I'll be blessed.
Okay.